I'm going to hit you with a couple of stories here. If you're at the Irish Independent this morning, we record this on Thursday, the 17th of July, you would have learned that 160,000 households in Ireland are in arrears on their electricity bills, with the average amount owed for a household being €476. So that's 160,000 households in Ireland behind, in arrears, trying to catch up with themselves on the electricity bill alone. €476 they owe. Earlier in the week, there were figures that came out that showed that an average weekly shop in Ireland is now 22% higher in 2025 over 2022. So over the last 3 years, the cost of an average weekly shop has increased by a quarter. If you were following the news in health, you would have heard this week that last year, Stephen Donnelly, when he was still Minister for Health, ordered that all of the 68 children who are due for scoliosis operations in Ireland would have their surgery funded overseas. Out of those 68 people who are desperately waiting for operations, 2 so far have been sent for operations. You'll know if you're listening to this podcast that Ireland has a housing crisis, and you may not have seen the story from Waterford. I loved the story from Waterford this week. I don't know if you saw it. Tim Healy from the Irish Independent, he told his readers this tale. There's a housing estate in Waterford that's been built, 28 houses built to the highest standards. The developer is in court to stop an order that has come through from the county council. The county council has sought an order that the brand new housing estate be demolished. All 28 homes, on the grounds that the houses have been built 3 to 4 metres above the elevation in the National Development Plan, which is considered to be a tremendous offence. And finally, I'll mention, without going too overboard on these, that the Irish Legal Credit Unions did a survey which showed that 30% of parents are going to have to go into debt, they say, to fund back to school in a few weeks' time. And at the end of the week, we had an opinion poll which showed that 14% of the public think that the government is successfully tackling the country's problems, and 86% do not. So I just wanted to throw this all out in the context of the presidential election, because to me it is fascinating to watch how this country is being run. Because then when I look at all those stories, Sarah, and I'm sorry, I know I'm going on a bit, but I do want to make the point. I looked at what the Taoiseach was doing for the week. So on Wednesday, he met with Agnes Callamard of Amnesty International to discuss ongoing human rights issues in the Gaza Strip and elsewhere. He met with Filippo Grandi, UN High Commissioner for Refugees, to discuss Ireland's continuing commitment to the plight of persons displaced by wars. And then on Tuesday, he ventured outside government buildings to issue an important statement on the war in Gaza, to announce that the Irish government was working tirelessly to stop it. He also attended a national day of commemoration for Irish soldiers who died overseas, in fairness to him. The Taoiseach opened his week. He met with the Brazilian foreign minister, in which he pledged 15 million of your and my euros to the Amazon Fund as a part of an effort to promote Brazil's climate leadership. So we're giving them 15 million quid. Then he went off to Brussels to focus on sanctions for Israel at European Union level. He lost on that. Then he announced our membership of CERN. And then he said he's been spending the rest of his week working tirelessly for a trade deal with the USA, which is, of course, a European Union competence and not a Simon Harris competence. So, I mean, am I going mad, or have these politicians lost their minds when it comes to what their job actually is?